Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Piyush. This is video number 12 in the series Azure DevOps Zero to Hero, and as you might have already seen the thumbnail and the title of this video will be focusing on security in Azure DevOps. So security or DevSecOps, you might have heard this term a lot of times. You are a DevOps aspirant, and this is not just a buzzword, right? This is when you give security utmost importance, the importance that it deserves, and you call it a secure DevOps. That's what it means by DevSecOps. Security should be our topmost priority irrespective of what we are building, but unfortunately, we tend to overlook it. We focus on releasing new updates and getting our apps to production quickly. However, we must prioritize the security before everything else, not just the data security, but securing the code, your infrastructure, data pipelines, CI/CD pipelines, your network, and everything has to be secure. Now imagine building the most cutting edge app and deploying it seamlessly with the help of CI/CD pipelines and celebrating your success. It all works fantastic until you realize that you have left the front door open for the cyber intruders, and that would be the last thing that anyone would want to do. So that is why we will be discussing how you can enhance the security of Azure DevOps in this particular video. And so instead of relying on auditing to find loopholes in your system, you implement security at all stages to implement DevSecOps. So now I'm in my GitHub repository, and you should already have the link by now. If not, there is pinned comment on this particular video and also there in the description. So I have scrolled down to the section where it says Day-12 Security and Permissions in Azure DevOps. In this, we'll start with enabling advanced security in Azure DevOps, and then we'll see how you can use dependency scanning, secret scanning, how do we manage secret related alerts, how do we fix them, and how to effectively use secrets in your pipeline without being exposed externally or internally, and how do we do code scanning for vulnerabilities. And in this video as well, we'll be using the app that we have used in the day 11 video. It is basically a my healthcare app, a microservice based application provided by Microsoft Azure itself, and we'll be doing this while deploying everything on an Azure Kubernetes cluster. So as part of that, let me just provision the infrastructure. Let me just go to portal.azure.com. All right, and I will open the Cloud Shell because we'll be running the same script that we have ran for day 11 video to provision your Kubernetes cluster, resource group, and other related resources. So I have opened the Cloud Shell. There was a script already there in the demo 11 folder, create infra. So I'm just gonna execute create infra. Yep. So if you are wondering where to find the script, this script will be there in the day 11 folder. So if you go to the repository and scroll down to the day 11 folder, down again, and here it is, this one. So as it says, this one will create a resource group, it will create a AKS cluster and ACR, Azure Container Registry, and then will authenticate ACR with the AKS so that you can pull and push the images between that AKS cluster and ACR. It will also create a SQL server and database because it is a 3-tier microservice based application. So it will have a front end, back end, and the database as well. And then there are a couple of things that you need to do, like you have to change the firewall setting of the SQL server to allow your backend talk to your database. And yeah, so that's about it. So it will take around 5 minutes or so. So I'm gonna pause the recording for now. Okay, so after a few minutes, resources have been provisioned, script has been completed. Let's go to our Azure portal and see if it is ready. So I'm gonna go to resource groups, and if you scroll down, there should be two new resource group created, one for the main resource group and another one with the worker nodes. So if you go down, this one is for the worker nodes, and day 11 demo RG, this is the main resource group which will have the other resource. So it will have a Kubernetes cluster, a SQL server, container registry, SQL database, and a data collection. So the resources that we have provisioned. So I'm gonna go to my SQL server over here and go down to the networking section over here. In the networking section, there should be something called allow Azure services and resources to access this server. So I'm gonna enable this check mark and hit save. So this we have already discussed in the previous video why we are doing this, so that our backend would be able to connect to the database, right? So this is done. Now let's see if there were any pending steps. So this we have already done. Now these are the changes that we need to make in the pipeline itself. So let me go to my project itself, demo 11 AKS, go to pipeline, hit edit. Okay, so these things, tokens and everything else we have seen. Then so we need to change the service connection details. So I'll click over here, settings, and then select your service connection. I'm gonna have to create a new because we just provision the resources. So let's select the subscription, click authorize. But let's quickly see if you are able to see the resources that were provisioned. So if I'm gonna select the existing service connection and I click the drop down, it's already there, so I don't have to create a new one. So I'll just select this and keep everything as default, add, and I, because the name are also same for all the resources that we have created, so we don't have to make any changes in the pipeline itself. Yeah, it's good. Okay, because we have not made any changes literally. uh, it was already there, so that's okay. Now let's go to your Azure repos, and from here go to advanced security. Like, we need to enable the advanced security before we can use all the security features. It says enable in settings over here, right? So you can also go from the project setting, and project setting, repos, repository, like this. I'm gonna click the repository over here, and we need to enable this advanced security, right? And then it will ask us to begin the billing, because advanced security is built based on the number of unique active committers across all enabled repositories in your. So for this demo you won't be getting charged anything, because we'll be doing a couple of things and that should be good. So on begin billing, and then there is an option, if you see, it says lock secret on push. That means this particular scanner will scan your Azure repos, and if it finds any secret in your repository, when you are pushing it, when you are creating a pull request, or you are directly committing it to the main branch, then it will block the commit then and there. I will show you how it's done. Let's disable this for now because I have to test one more thing, and after that we'll enable it. Okay, so for now just disable it, then go to security, and select the project administrator user over here, because we need to make sure that these three settings are allowed. First is advanced security to manage and dismiss alert, then advanced security to manage settings, and then advanced security to view alerts. So these three should be allowed. If not, please allow it, and that should be good. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to my pipeline here, edit pipeline. Now we'll be doing the dependency scanning task, which will scan all the dependencies, libraries, and if anything it will show the alert. So we need to add a task just before the build services task, this one, before it actually builds the container image, right? So there is a task already added by myself, so click on that. Just remove this and show you how we can add this. Enter and search for advanced security. Now we need to select this task, which dependency scanning, and just keep it as it is, and then put And I'll add one more task to publish the results from dependency scanning. Search advanced again. There is this task, advanced security, publish results. This, hit add. Let's keep it the default folder and hit add. Well, all right. So these two tasks have been added. So it will scan the repository for any dependencies and will publish the results. Let's hit save and let the pipeline run. Once it is completed, we'll see other results. Okay, so our pipeline has been completed successfully. I don't see any errors. All the steps have been completed. Now let's go to our repos and advanced security. Right, I'm going to tab, right. Inside that tab, there will be three sections: dependency, code scanning, and secret. We just enable dependencies and it has published a lot of vulnerabilities because this is really an old project and it's not been maintained properly. So that's why it has a lot of active vulnerabilities. So if you click on any of those, it will show you the vulnerability description, recommendation, and the exact file in which the vulnerability has been found. Right? So for example, and this is a package.json, and recommendation is to upgrade the handlebars from this version to that version to fix the vulnerability. And similarly, there are a lot of vulnerabilities, and you can filter the vulnerabilities with severity, or we only have one pipeline at the moment, or you can filter it with the package as well. So all these packages have vulnerability in this particular run. So this will actively monitor your repo for any vulnerability code, and it will trigger the alert over here. So once you fix the alert, this will be automatically removed. Or you can close the alert from here. Either says risk accepted if you have fixed it and it's not been removed, or even if you want to ignore it with either of these reasons, just select that region and hit close, and this vulnerability will be closed from here. So that's about vulnerability scannings or code scanning. Now let's move to the next part, which is secret scanning. Secret scanning is over here. I see no open alert because there is no particular secret that has been posted or found in the repo. But what if we add one secret and see how it works? So I'm gonna open repos in tab. Okay, and let's add a secret somewhere in the, because we have used tokens. Instead of token, let's add a secret value. Okay, let's go to app settings.json, hit edit. So please do not get confused with secret and password. There is no way this particular app or process will be able to identify if there is any password being exposed in this, in any of the files in the repo, right? There is the password already. It will only detect the secret, and it has some of the supported secret and list of the secrets. Let me just find it out. um, Supported secrets in your DevOps secret scanning should show. Here it is, right? So if you go down, okay, so these are the supported secret. There are some third-party providers and some other cloud providers such as Amazon, AWS. So auth, client ID, client secret, EID, and then there'll be secrets for Microsoft as well. So like Azure DevOps personal access token, storage key identifiable, and like other things. So to test this particular functionality, we're gonna inject a storage key in place of the admin password over here. So let me just copy one dummy storage key. Okay, I've added a storage key and let's hit commit. You see now it is letting me commit the secret to the repository because we have not enabled that option in the advanced setting. I will show you how that works as well. So once it is done, let's go back to advanced security and secrets. Currently there is no open alert because it will take a couple of minutes. before it actually detects the secret. I'm gonna let it wait for that time, and let's see if it raises the alert. Okay, so after waiting for like few minutes, I see the alert has been generated in the secret tab. There has been an alert generated for the Microsoft Azure storage account access. So if you click on that, it will show you that in this particular file, app setting.json, at line number 6, it has identified a possible plain text or base 64 encoded plain text secret in version engine content. So because the storage account access is 64 encrypted, it has detected that it is a storage account access key, and based on the way it has been encrypted, it has detected what type of secret it is, right? And the recommendation, the remediation step to close this alert is, because if secret is already there in your repository, it might have been already exposed outside through your builds, through your releases, and your developer also would have access to it if they had access to the repository. So to remediate from this, the recommendation is to rotate the secret first, secure it securely in a key vault or somewhere safe, and then revoke that storage account access key to prevent unauthorized access, and check the security log for any breaches, and then close this particular alert. How to close it? Again, click on close alert and see the secret has been revoked. Say that and rotate the secret from your storage account, right? And hit close. So once you do that, that secret alert will be closed and you will see no open alert. Now we'll talk about the option that we had earlier, right? So first let's file, okay, and let's remove the secret that we have added. Side health web and app set.json, it added, okay, and this storage account already revoked the storage account activity and I rotated the key. Let's add some dummy value. Okay, you see earlier it let me added that secret even though it was found in the repository scan, but this time let's go to the repo settings, and this time enable this option, lock secret on push. Let's try to enclose the secret again. Rid of this, add the secret and hit commit. Okay, let's commit, and it let me add that secret because the secret has been revoked already. So let me pull some, right? So okay, let me create a new storage account. Okay, it's already there. So this storage back file, hit edit, let me take this, let me take the next, because the first one I've already used, I have already closed the alert. So let's add it, commit, and you see it says the push was rejected because it contains one or more secrets. Resolve the following secret before pushing again. So it has detected that a secret of type Azure storage account identifiable key has been detected. and it has stopped us from pushing that. So this is how you can enable that particular option, and this is how you can secure your secrets. Now the question is, then how do we use the secrets in Python? So there are multiple ways. First is you tokenize your files, which is what we have already seen. So in app settings, see, you have used token instead of the values, like SQL Server token. Okay, and in this file there was one, and then there is two, which is SQL password, and then there is SQL user. So we have tokenized the file. And how did we use that? The pipeline itself. By the way, we have discussed this thoroughly in the previous video, day 11. So make sure you watch that as well. Click on that, hit edit, and if you see, there are two steps to replace the token. So if you click on settings, you'll see the target file is appsettings.json, and token pattern is this. So anything with which starts with two underscores and ends with two underscore will be considered as a token, and that token will be replaced with this variables defined over here. So click on variables. See, here we have defined the variables: SQL server, password, SQL user, ACR. Right? The same way, we have one more task to replace token in another file, which is hcaks.yaml, and in that there was a variable ACR which was tokenized, and then this is what we have replaced. Right? So this is how you should be using your secret inside the pipeline. And then there is this library section over here. You click on that, right? And then you click on secure file. You can upload a file over here, such as a certificate, signing key, request, and then use that as a variable in your pipeline. Or you can click on this variable group, right? Let's create a new variable group, and then hit this option, link secret from an Azure keyword as variable. You select your service connection, select this one, and then you select your key vault name. So your key vault will have the secret, and if key vault has been created, it will be populated over here, and then you can use that as a variable in your pipeline itself. So that's the two different ways of how you should be using secret, instead of hard coding that in your source code or storing that somewhere as a variable in your pipeline. So tokenize is the first way, other ways is the key. So this library will have those variable data. Yeah, so we have covered that as well. Let's see if we missed anything. And yeah, the last part is code scanning. So for code scanning, let's go back to pipeline. Hit edit. So just after the dependency check, it was over here. We'll add two more tasks. So first task will touch advance again. First task would be initialize CodeQL. This will initialize the code, and then select the language to initialize. And this particular project is on .NET. I don't .NET as one of the supported language, not run this, but this is what you need to do if you are using any other project. So select the language, then select a query suite, like what type of action you want to use, like code scanning, security extended, security experimental, and security and quality. Like select this. There are some other options which are in advanced section, and once you're done, hit add. And after this task, you need to add one more task. So this is to initialize the code quality check. Another one would be to analyze the check. So this option, perform CodeQL analyze, and this will analyze this. And then you have to hit save, and then the results will be published again in the same area, repos, advanced security, and over here code scanning. So over here, your all the vulnerabilities, your possible security threats will be listed over here, and you can take necessary actions them and to close the alert. So this is about this video, but before we wind up, make sure you destroy your infrastructure, and I'm gonna rotate the keys as well. Okay, let's rotate both the keys. One, hide it first. Okay. Right, so inside the same folder in the GitHub repository, there'll be another file called delete.sh. Just execute that to delete the infrastructure. Okay, I guess this file is corrupted. I'm not able to see the content of it, so I'm gonna copy that, go to Day-12 folder and scroll to the very bottom of the page. So destroy the infrastructure, this one, copy this file, fetch, save the file. There is some with the Cloud Shell. I not letting me do anything. It's not letting me create the file as well, or it's been created already. Okay, so the script is there. So now let me just give it the execute permission, and we can. It will also ask you a few prompts. Do you want to perform this operation? Hit yes, and it will ask you a few more times, and then your infrastructure will be destroyed. So make sure you destroy your infrastructure if you don't want to run into huge bills. So yeah, that's about it. All right, so that's it for this video. I hope the advanced security feature in Azure DevOps was helpful to you in understanding. So this is just a few of the features that we have discussed as part of the DevSecOps. There are a lot of other features. We have OWASP spanning, we have static code analysis check, we have code vulnerability we have already seen, and there are a lot of other features. We could use Azure policies, Azure Defender, and a few other things to secure infrastructure, data, network, and everything that we have discussed. So make sure you understand all those things, and why it is important is also crucial to understand. So yeah, that's it, and I hope this video was helpful. So make sure you hit that like button if you found it helpful, and consider subscribing the channel if you are new here, and I will see you soon with the next video. Next video will be about CI/CD on a serverless app, which is a QR code generator, and I will have a special surprise for you in that video as well. So take care and happy learning.